Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good myself because today we are going to be taking a look at possibly the greatest console war clickbaiter of all time, CrapGamer reviews. Now CrapGamer, for those of you who don't know, is a bit of a special case. He started off being an Xbox fanboy, he was hyping up the Xbox One X to oblivion, and then once, the console wasn't as good as he was hyping it up to be, he switched to being a PlayStation fanboy in like 2017 or 2018, but now he has supposedly switched back to being an Xbox fanboy, although most of his recent content has to do with PlayStation just destroying Microsoft at every single opportunity for the most minute reasons possible. But this isn't really a minute thing or like a little thing they're quote-unquote destroying Xbox and Microsoft for. It's actually a very just dumb and ironic thing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to be making this video. I'm not going to keep my intro like 3 minutes long like Crap does, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Today's going to be a very interesting day. I get to test out my new Starlink, which I got installed yesterday. We're going to see what happens. But even more important than that, I think there's some great announcements coming from Sony today as well. They're on a bit of a tear, doing a lot of things right. I absolutely agree with that. I would never say otherwise.
Of course you would never say otherwise. PlayStation fanboys never think what Sony's doing is a bad thing. But I am just going to throw this out here right now. What they are doing is a very good thing. I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is a great update. But I will just say Xbox had this feature on day one, and Sony is just now implementing it into the PS5, which is why I think this whole video is so stupid.
Just to say it, because I feel like a lot of people do that. And when it comes down to it, I think that there's a lot of people that like kind of cap or lie one way or the other. And I'm trying my best to just be fun about this stuff, the video games, the announcements, all that stuff. I feel like, Sony has a good grasp on what they're doing. Microsoft has a good grasp on what they're doing. But good Lord, have they really had a brutal year this year in terms of like where the first party's at and stuff like that. So we have a lot of interesting stuff going on, and it seems like daily we're getting a lot of good information and some new news and things like that. So I'm excited by that aspect of it. I think that it's really cool to see so many different announcements, especially in the summertime where there's very little announcements to be had. So yeah, definitely like to see that. I'm working on multiple things right now. Things are a little bit cluttered for me, like in my little office area here. But again, because I was installing the Starlink, and I'm excited to see. If any of you have followed my channel at any length, you probably realize that I have some of the worst internet in the history of mankind. No joke. It literally drops. It causes me to bot on podcasts. It takes me hours to upload a video to YouTube. Like, if anybody knew the hassle and what I go through to upload videos, you might like the videos a little bit more and understand, hey man, he's entertaining us despite these hassles. So yeah, it's
this man is begging for, like, I don't even know, is this sympathy he's asking for or something? Like, oh no, he has bad internet, so his videos take a while to upload. Like, boo-hoo. What does that have to do with Sony supposedly destroying Microsoft? Also, I'm just gonna say this, how does your worse internet make it a more grueling task for you to upload a video? Like, you do realize the computer does all the work, right? You just have to wait longer for it to be uploaded. I don't see how that's like such a grueling task, especially since you upload like 2 to 3 times a day most of the time. I just have to press X to doubt on all of that.
It's one of those things that I find to be a little bit interesting, but still at the same time, listen, I'm hoping this works for me. The tests on the speed tests are showing much improvement. I'm hoping maybe one day I can even stream some videos like on Twitch or YouTube or something, and it'll be a pretty cool situation. But this in particular, what Sony's doing, this is nothing but good news for them.
That had to be the most awkward and like god-awful topic switch I've ever heard. This man's talking about how he hopes that his better internet hopes he can stream to YouTube and Twitch more, and then just somehow correlates that to the news he's talking about in this video. Like, dude, just get on with it. I know you're trying to pad out the video to 8 minutes so you can just milk it for ad revenue, but good lord, man. Like, I've watched a bunch of your recent videos. Every single one has like a 3-minute intro.
They really kind of nailed what fans wanted, and I'm super impressed with what they've been able to kind of accomplish. Is this going to be something they're going to keep up this pace? Are they going to keep up this pace? I think that's something that a lot of people are going to wonder and kind of question about. It's hard to say. They seem to have a good lineup of their ducks in a row, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. But I'm very interested to see how this all turns out. Hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy the videos. Like I said, this has been one that definitely needed to be made today. Bravo to Sony. They do a good job with this stuff. Stick around. It should be a good video. Let's go ahead and get started right now.
Yes, bravo to Sony for adding a feature almost 2 years into their console lifespan that Xbox had on day one. This is really just going to destroy Xbox and be the complete end of the brand as we know it. But also, I just like to point this out. I said this earlier, but we are 3 minutes in now and he's finally starting the video. Like, dude, maybe you could find a way to pad out your videos by actually adding, you know, real content instead of just rambling about your new internet.
Now listen, Sony has always done a fantastic job with their console. They rebounded well even in the PS3 era, and now with the PlayStation 5, they're taking things even a step further and really making announcements, it seems like, every other week or so, and people are really going crazy about this stuff. Now,
I wasn't too involved with the whole Xbox 360 PS3 era, but from what I know, I don't really know how well they rebounded. I know the PS3 still sold well, but from what I heard, they purposely tried to break people's original PS3s with software updates because they didn't want people to be able to mod the console, and therefore they would have to go out and buy a whole nother PS3, and apparently there was like a whole lawsuit over it.
This is something that everybody was asking for, and Sony of course delivered. The latest PlayStation 5 system update adds auto low latency mode settings as well. Players can also now choose whether to automatically switch to low latency mode if they so choose.
You heard that right, guys. PlayStation adding auto low, as CrapGamer says, latency modes, but seriously, auto low latency modes 2 years in after Xbox has had this since day one is completely destroying Microsoft and Xbox. So, I mean, guys, if you have an Xbox Series X, even if you've been taking advantage of the auto low latency mode on that console for the last 2 years, like, just throw away that console and get a PS5 instead, because the PS5 adding this feature almost 2 years into its lifespan, that's absolutely destroying the Xbox, even though the Xbox had it from day one.
The new patch boasts one of the most major new features, which lets players adjust auto low latency mode, which is also goes by ALLM settings, according to the console's patch notes. If you're using a TV that supports ALLM, you can just adjust the settings in screen and video output. This will give players more control over when ALLM is activated.
And like I said earlier in the video, I think it's a great thing they're adding this now, but at the same time, why was this not there on day one like it was with the Xbox? Or at the very least, even if it wasn't in there day one, why did it take almost 2 years for this to come out? And once again, how exactly does this mean that PlayStation is just destroying Xbox? I don't know, guys. I don't think he's really going to tell us, because something tells me the title may have been a little bit clickbait.
But will only work if their TV supports an auto low latency mode. Now, the new options provided are automatic and off. Choosing automatic will instantly switch a player's TV to low latency mode while they're playing games. If the players turn it off, it won't activate while playing games, except when a game that supports variable refresh rate, or VRR, is being played. The update also improves system performance according to Sony's patch notes. Finally, they added long-awaited VRR support to the PS5 back in April. The feature has been available on Xbox Series X since launch. It syncs the frame rate of the games that people are playing to their monitors, which in theory reduces notable frame rate drops and other graphical issues.
Okay, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record by the end of this video, but he literally just read off in the article that Xbox has had this since day one. So again, how is this destroying the Xbox if Xbox had this before PlayStation? Only a fanboy could say that a console getting a feature after another one means that the console who got the feature later is objectively better and is destroying the other one.
Mainly, what happens if you don't have VRR, you get a lot of something that's called screen tearing. And screen tearing really can break immersion for a lot of gamers. This is something that was really prevalent last generation. We used to see stuff like even Titanfall on the original Xbox One. If I remember right, a very big indication of screen tearing happening with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I believe, or it might have been 1, but either one, it was on the Xbox One, and that version had a ton of screen tearing, just was not up to par with what some of the other games were.
But here's my question about that. If it's only those 2 games in particular that had really bad screen tearing issues, then how exactly is that the console's fault? That seems like it would be a bit more of the game's fault, not gonna lie. Because personally, I played on Xbox One for 8 years, and I never once noticed any issues of screen tearing. I'm just going to throw it out there. And I've been over to friends' houses who have PS4s, and I've never really seen much of a screen tearing issue with them either.
So this is really nice. A lot of the new TVs do have VRR, so if you got like a CX OLED or a CS OLED or something like that, or one of the Sony newer TVs, your TV is going to support it, and it's going to be better able to utilize these new consoles. The interesting thing, and that I've kind of taken of note about these consoles, is the fact that, to be 100% honest with you, These consoles are amazing, but you're not going to get the full use out of them and the full kind of wonder about them, the wonderment, just the amazingness of them, if you don't have a TV that really supports it or a monitor. So,
oh my god, dude, no crap. If your monitor cannot take full advantage, or TV or whatever, cannot take full advantage of the system you are playing on and cannot utilize its full power and resolution scaling and all that other stuff, no duh, you're not going to get the full use out of it. For me personally, I have a 3070 Ti and I play on a 1080p monitor. It's a great experience, but I'm not getting the full use out of the card, and in a lot of games my GPU usage is actually a lot lower because, the game's optimization only allows it to perform so well at 1080p. But if I were to upgrade to a 1440p monitor, then I would be getting much more use out of the card because much more of the card would be utilized when playing games. So yeah, no duh, if your TV or monitor can't take full advantage of your system, you're not going to be able to take full advantage of your system. That seems like common sense.
Keep that in mind before you buy, an Xbox Series X or PS5 or whatever. So gameplay in many PS5 titles feel smoother as scenes render seamlessly, graphics look crisper, and input lag is reduced. Sony said that in a statement at the time. VRR is automatically enabled to support games to PS5 consoles connected to an HDMI 2.1 VRR compatible TV or monitor. Users can also choose to apply VRR to PS5 games that don't support it, but Sony says this may result in unexpected visual effects. So, it's really kind of a crapshoot at this particular juncture. So we'll see what happens. The other thing that I thought was very interesting was God of War Ragnarok, which is obviously going to be a huge game. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping to get the collector's edition of it, either one or the other. There's two versions of it, so either one would be good. But fan reaction has been nothing but positive, and reaction from the industry as itself.
Well, I would say the reaction was overwhelmingly positive, but to say everyone was happy isn't exactly accurate because a lot of people who, want to try to get the collector's edition are upset that they're not going to get a physical disc in the collector's edition, which I can't really blame them, honestly. It's a collector's edition, but you can't collect the damn disc for the game. Also, I saw a lot of people, mainly PlayStation fans, actually saying that they were disappointed that, the trailer for the release date was just a 30-second CG trailer that didn't really show off much. And I can understand that, but in my opinion, that trailer was awesome, and honestly, I'm excited to see more about the game.
Sony Interactive Entertainment announced that God of War Ragnarok's release date is November 9th, 2022. And at the time of the publishing of this article, which I will link, the announcement was made hours ago, and it racked up tons of likes. This thing already has, tons of likes on Twitter and over 1 million on in terms of views on the actual video itself on YouTube. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, people are excited for this game, and that's great, but what does this have to do with, Sony supposedly destroying Microsoft by adding VRR 2 years later? Or is he trying to say that, announcing the release date for God of War Ragnarok has just completely destroyed the Xbox as well? I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. But seriously, dude, how desperate are you to draw this video out to 8 minutes? Are you that hungry for that ad revenue? Good God, dude.
It is absolutely incredible. The Last of Us Remake Part 1 was posted 3 weeks ago, currently has 317,000 likes, and this one already has almost 200,000 likes. So yeah, a lot of different things going on here. And also, listen.
Now, I will say The Last of Us Part 1, the, second remake now for the same game, it does look graphically gorgeous, but, I mean, they're charging $70 for a remake of a game that this is the second remake of that game. So, yes, it's nice that, they're going to be having nicer graphics and, reflections and stuff, and it's very nice that it's coming to PC, but I just have to wonder, why not just release the PS4 remake of the game on PC and call it a day? Oh wait, no, it's because Sony wants to charge $70 for another remake of the same game. And I find this very hypocritical that PlayStation fanboys are hyping this game up, because, PlayStation fanboys always like to say, oh, all Xbox gets is remakes and sequels to existing franchises. They never get anything original. But this is the second time the same game is getting remade. I don't know, it just seems a little hypocritical to me.
They're doing things incredibly well, I gotta be honest. The way that Sony seems to have something new to announce, and fans really kind of love it, and for me, I'm not trying to knock, the the Horizon Forbidden West or anything like that, but what I will say is I'm more of a God of War gamer than Horizon. So I'm definitely more interested in a God of War than I was in Horizon Forbidden West, which, you know, to date I still haven't even finished Horizon Forbidden West. So
okay, and again, what does this have to do with PlayStation absolutely destroying Xbox? People clicked on this video wanting to know how that happened, and they still have not figured it out, and the video is almost over, and now you're just talking about how you like God of War more than Horizon Forbidden West.
So, you know, we'll see what happens there. Where God of War, I'm jumping right into that, and, you know, hopefully nothing stops me playing that, and I'm going to just enjoy the hell out of it. And, you know, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to feel the same way. Look, it's an exciting time to be a gamer, and I think PlayStation fans this year have a lot to be excited about. You know, we'll see how this turns out, but yeah, I mean, this has been like a year like no other.
Well, yeah, I would say it's a year like no other in terms of how many of the games we're getting this year are remakes, because what new games have we gotten this year? We've gotten Horizon Forbidden West, which I heard was kind of mid, and it kind of flew under the radar. Then we have Elden Ring, which is a masterpiece. That's probably going to win Game of the Year, in all honesty, unless God of War is even better. And then we have God of War coming out in November. Yes, we have Modern Warfare 2, but let's be real, that's going to be a copy-paste of Modern Warfare 2019. And, you know, there was already a Modern Warfare 2, what was it, 13 years ago now? So yeah, we definitely have had some big, great games. I'm sure God of War Ragnarok will be one of them. But for the most part, especially in the case of like Spider-Man and The Last of Us Part 1, we're just getting a lot of remakes this year as well. And hey, don't get me wrong, like I'm not knocking the games or anything. It's great that The Last of Us and Spider-Man are coming to PC. I think that's fantastic. But again, these aren't new games. These are just remakes and remasters of old games. And, you know, Microsoft is definitely not helping this whole situation by having no first-party games coming out this year. So yeah, all in all, in my opinion, I would say that 2021 was probably a much better year for like new games than this year was
for PlayStation fans. So yeah, it looks like it's going to continue to be a fantastic year, and I know gamers are excited for the future of the brand. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Anyway, I'm going to link all of this in the description below. Sony is really kind of one after the other, hit after hit after hit. So let me know what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe. If you enjoy the video, leave a like. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, CrapGamer 'em up. CrapGamer out.
And just like that, the video is over. And I want to clarify what I said just before this, just in case I didn't make it clear enough. Like, I think this year is still a good year in terms of video games, but ultimately I think last year was a lot better, because ultimately the only truly great game we've gotten this year is Elden Ring. Again, Forbidden West, from what I heard, was kind of mid. I'm sure God of War will be great. And then Modern Warfare 2 is just going to be a copy-paste of Modern Warfare 2019. And it's sort of a remake, if you think about it, of Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. And I just want to point out, especially, like right there, he said it's going to be a great year for PlayStation gamers. Yeah, in terms of, you know, God of War, I'm sure it's going to be great. But once again, for like the 50 millionth time, Forbidden West kind of flew under the radar. It was a little mid from what I heard. And then this update for PlayStation is great, but at the same time, this should have been there from day one. And besides God of War, as far as I know, there's no like new games actually coming out that are PlayStation first-party games. It's like I said earlier, just a bunch of remakes and remasters. And obviously, you know, Microsoft not releasing any first-party games this year is not helping the slight drought we've gotten in terms of actual new games. So I'm going to end the video by saying this. Yes, this year is good for games, and you know, we're getting a bunch of great games this year, obviously. But at the end of the day, the only way this year is a year like no other for video games is how many remakes are coming out. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.